My name is MacKenzie. This is the story of how I influenced the name of this podcast. No, I'm just kidding. My name is MacKenzie, and this is the story of how Jesus changed my life. Starting at the beginning, kind of starts on a low note. Obviously, it's not ideal, but in order to understand what my life was like before, how I got to where I am today, and how Jesus did change my life, you kind of have to understand the circumstances of how I grew up. I overall had a great childhood. I mean, my parents were great, my siblings were great, so my family is technically like a blended family. My parents are still married, but they both had children previously before they got married. So I'm the youngest of four by a large amount, roughly 7 years. When I was 6 years old, one of my brothers passed away at the age of 16. It's obviously really heavy to talk about. I don't talk about it often. Not because, I'm sorry, I didn't think I would cry. It's not something I talk about often, not because I'm ashamed of it, but just because, it's something really personal to who I am. Obviously, it shaped how I view the world, because life is very valuable, and I really had to learn that at a young age. I saw something a few years ago that kind of made me take a step back and look at who I am as a person. Someone said, I don't remember who, but someone said that the first time that you sit front row at a funeral, it really does change your perspective on life. And recognizing that I sat front row at a funeral when I was 6 really made me understand my perspective on life. It changed how I viewed the world growing up. It changed the way I acted. Not that I behaved badly, but just I was always very mindful of what I did. I never took risks. I knew exactly who I needed to be. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I was okay with that because I knew my life was precious. I grew up, though, in a Christian household. Both of my parents grew up Christian, were very involved in church when they were younger, as they were growing up. My papa on my dad's side is a preacher, so obviously he grew up in church, and my mom grew up going to church every Sunday. When the doors of the church were open, she was in church. So it was very much their identity. They raised me to be a Christian, know Jesus died on the cross for me. Being a Christian was always part of my identity as well, but it wasn't my identity, if that makes sense. However, being a part of a Christian household, life got in the way, and we didn't go to church. We went very rarely. I grew up in a smaller town, so it was difficult to find a church community and feel welcome. Just because I didn't go to church didn't mean that I wasn't a Christian, or didn't mean that I didn't believe in Jesus. I didn't go to church, and that was okay with me. Freshman year of high school, I knew what I wanted my career to be. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm the type of person that loves a good step-by-step. So I knew the exact steps I had to take. I knew what I needed to do to go to college and do what I wanted to do. So I did that. I was, president of a club. I did extracurriculars, sports. It was either junior or senior year of high school, and I found MTSU, which is where I currently go to school at, and I decided that this is where I wanted to go to school. So I went through all the steps of applying and everything. Senior of high school, I just decided that I wanted to go to MTSU and I guess figure out who I was as a person outside of the town that I grew up in. I wasn't raised in a super small town, but it was small enough that I went to school with the same people elementary through senior year. It's kind of hard, unless you make a super drastic change, it's kind of hard to be someone other than who they view you as. And I'm sure a lot of people go through that, But I decided that I wanted to go to college and really figure out who I was outside of my town. And I wanted to really figure out my relationship with God. I came to school, I started making friends, which was kind of awesome because I didn't have very many friends growing up. I don't know, I was just doing all the things that I always wanted to do. Making friends, going out, getting ice cream on a random Tuesday, hanging out with people throughout the week. That was crazy. Not at school. Like, it was amazing. I was figuring out who I was, but I wasn't figuring out my relationship with God. Spring semester of freshman year, I was hanging out with some friends and I met Kate, who I'm sure many of you know. And honestly, I can only describe it as like a God thing. It's one of those simple actions in life that God still works through. Because obviously we see it when he works through those big miracles, but those small, simple actions, he still works through, and it just brings you joy to look back and see. But I think God knew that I was horrified and I was scared of going to a church and being the only one, or not knowing what to do, or not knowing who to talk to, and being uncomfortable. And so he put people in my life that he knew I needed in order to have a relationship with him. He knew I just needed that support, and so he gave me that, which I will be forever grateful to him for. But the thing that is so amazing is that it wasn't just meeting a person. It was that the first church we went to is now my home church. It's now the place I look to for community. It's the place that, if I'm struggling in my walk with Christ, like, those are the people I text. Those are the people I call. Those are the people I talk to. Those are where my mentors are. Those are the people that I rely on to give me strength when I don't have it, which again is only a God thing. The amount of churches I've tried in my life, like, it's kind of crazy how many churches I've tried. But when God wants you to be somewhere, he's gonna give you all the things that you need to be there. It is really amazing to just look back and see where he brought me from and where he put me at and how he put me there. But yeah, so I started going to church. I'm not sure if it was that semester or the next semester, but I started volunteering in the preschool at church, which was amazing. Just started really building a community, and it was really, really nice. So freshman year of college ended, and I went home like most people do, and I was hanging out with my family. And during this summer of between my freshman and sophomore year of college, my mom went in to have a routine colonoscopy and was diagnosed with colon cancer, which, for those of you who are close to your moms, know that kind of rocks your world. We went through a lot that summer that not a lot of people know about. She had a major surgery to remove the cancer. She started doing chemotherapy. It was a lot, and for those of you that have dealt with cancer, you know how bad it sucks. Chemotherapy, cancer treatment, it is draining on the people who have cancer, on the people who are around them. It's draining. At the end of summer, I told my mom that I would take a gap year. I would stay home. I would take care of her. I would do whatever I needed, because that's just what you do. You make life work. But my mom, being the most amazing woman that she is, told me no. I won't say in the exact words that she told me no, but it was a very hard no. She was refusing to let me stop my life, and I went back to school. I live 4 hours away from home, so that was really difficult. So when I went back to school, she was still continuing chemotherapy treatment, and honestly, I was just trying to get through the semester. I was trying to focus on schoolwork, was trying to focus on keeping contact with my parents, making sure my mom was okay, understanding what was happening with her treatments, everything. It was kind of crazy. But got through fall semester, went into spring semester by the grace of God, and only the grace of God. My mom finished chemotherapy treatment. She finished her chemo pills, and she was doing good. Like, obviously, cancer wrecks your body, but we were very thankful for what God had given us, because it could have gone a very different way. On March 17th of 2024, I was rebaptized. I was baptized as a child, but I got rebaptized at my home church here in Murfreesboro. Both of my parents were here. I had just my loving family and friends there to support me, my church community, and my mom had finished cancer treatments, and life was really good. Life could only go up from there. And then life decided that it wasn't gonna be perfect again. And one day I was talking to my mom, and I could tell something was off. I could tell that she did not want to tell me what was going on, because that's a mother's job to protect you. But I could tell, and she told me that she had a tumor in her heart, of all places, which was scary, and I was really angry. I did not understand what was happening, but God has a plan, and I was trying to remember that. I think my mom told me on a Thursday, and that Friday I left to go on a girls' retreat with my church, which at the time I thought was awful timing because I just wanted to stay in my bed. But it was actually perfect timing because I needed it. So I went on a retreat, tried to act like I was fine, tried to act like everything was fine. But I remember we would have quiet time every morning. One morning I went out to the picnic table and I opened my Bible, and I was trying so hard to want to read the Bible. I really was. But I was still so angry, and I had no desire to talk to God in that moment. I called my parents, and I was just sobbing over the phone, telling them that I didn't understand, trying to figure out what was going on. Looking back on it, ultimately I was trying to get human answers for something that couldn't be answered. My parents, obviously being the wonderful parents they are, they were trying so hard to reassure me, tell me that everything was fine. And I knew that they wanted to give me the answers that I wanted, but they couldn't. I remember my mom telling me that I just had to wait for the 41st day. A lot of times in the Bible, there'll be 40 days and 40 nights. We mainly know this from Noah on the ark. But on the 41st day, it's over. And I remember my mom telling me I just had to wait for the 41st day. I just remember being so angry because I was like, I don't understand. I wasn't angry because I was having to wait for the 41st day, but I was angry because I thought we had gotten there and we hadn't. But I continued on my retreat, and I kept going, and I realized that I was so angry over something that I couldn't change. I mean, it was done at this point. The diagnosis was there. There was nothing I could do except for get over myself and realize that God had a plan, and I just needed to wait. The summer between my sophomore and junior year, my mom had open heart surgery. For those of you who have been in a waiting room for that, know that it's scary. You're waiting for doctors to tell you what's going on, and it's a really long surgery. Yet again, by the grace of God, only God, my mom made it through surgery successfully. Surgery went without a hitch. It was perfect as it could have been. There was more damage than they originally thought, but they were able to repair it all. My mom was in recovery. My mom fought. She fought really, really hard, but she got to the other side of everything. Today, as of June of 2025. She is as healthy as possible. She is healthy, no cancer, healthy heart, and we are only here by the grace of God. Looking back on how I got to where I am today, I think I'm just continually reminded of God's faithfulness, how continually I have been human and doubted Him, how I've continually doubted what He can do. I've continually been angry at Him. I've continually been angry with God for putting me through trials, but I continually am proven wrong. I am thankful for what God does for me, for my family. There is nothing that God can't do. I don't want to sit here and tell you that you're not going to go through trials. You will. It's inevitable. We all go through them. I'm not going to tell you that you won't lose people, because you will. Despite being so thankful that my mom is still here today with us, we always will have a hole in our family where my brother should be. Everyone's affected by loss. It's hard. It's really hard. But God is faithful and He has a plan. You just have to wait for the 41st day. It will be the best decision you make. Accepting God, accepting Christ as your Savior, and waiting for the 41st day will be the best decision of your life.